Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in to what's going to be my monthly favorites. Pretty self-explanatory. It's that time of the month. Let's go ahead and dive into the beauty favorites that I've been loving. First, let's start with lips because this is like the first thing I apply when I'm putting on my makeup. It's the last thing I apply at night. It's what I wear on my no makeup days. It's the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask and I had forgotten about this. Well, I had lost it. I had initially received this from Influencer like well over a year ago, and it was the gorgeous like deeper berry shade. That's the shade I originally had. I didn't even make it halfway through the tube here, but I lost it and I kind of forgot about it, didn't really think much of it, but I was chronically having dry lips, and so I happened to be at a Sephora and JCPenney and I came across all three of the new shades. There is the other one that I had, this one which is like pink champagne or something. It doesn't even say on here what shade it is, but it's like a light tint with pink and shimmer in it. It's really just more like a very, very softly tinted glossy balm on the lips. And then they also have one that is a deeper purple. So I went ahead and picked up the one that I did. And this is just, I mean, it comes very, very full and I've already made it through, like, it's not really a significant dent, but it's saying something given that I've had this for 3 weeks now at this point. I apply it a lot. I practically eat it like toothpaste. Not that I eat toothpaste, I don't even know where that came from, but you get the point. I really like it, the end. It is not, however, what I'm wearing right now. What I am wearing is the Fenty Beauty. You knew it was gonna come up in this video. I mean, after a month of everyone and their brother reviewing Fenty Beauty, you knew a couple of products were gonna show up in the favorites videos too. So for me, one of them this month is the Fenty Beauty. It's the lip product. It's hard to read it. The Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. It's the only shade she has, but I really, really like it. It's one of those that I've been wearing a lot of, when I do wear makeup, I've been wearing a lot of dramatic eyes, and so this has just been a really nice neutral one to lean on, where it just gives you that hint of shine, polishes up your look, but doesn't overwhelm anything else on your face. Onto the foundation. It's kind of hard for me to say these are favorites, not that I don't really, really love them, but normally when I come to favorites, it's because I have made the choice, like I have chosen this as the superior product of all those that I've been using lately, and that's why I like it. These I've just been using because I've been testing a couple of other foundations, and when I'm not using those, this is what I've been picking up. So they're still good. Like, I'm not saying they're not good. It's just for some reason they don't feel quite like favorites because of the way I guess choose favorites. None of this is relevant. Hopefully you get my point. If not, let's move on. It is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15. Over that, I've been applying the Studio Fix powder, which I talked about in my like full rundown of powder foundations, which is not that full. A ton of you guys recommended powder foundations that I totally missed, most of them from like NYX and Drugstore brands, so you can bet there's going to be another video coming, but not for a while because I like missed a lot. But this has been my magical duo, full coverage duo, especially when I'm filming and stuff. This is for me personally, is a lot of foundation for me to wear on a daily basis, but I can add or subtract more to kind of raise or lower the coverage without it looking too cakey or unnatural. But they're just really light and easy to throw on, so it's what I've been gravitating towards lately. Now it's time for kind of a doozy. Something made me change from Tarte Shape Tape, guys. That's saying something. Tarte Shape Tape has been my go-to concealer here. It's been in every favorites video for 6 or 7 months. I don't know, like a long, long time. Ever since I got it, we have been besties. But last month I tried the Este Lauder Double Wear Waterproof All Day Extreme Wear Concealer, and I've been using it every day instead of my Tarte Shape Tape. And this is one of those where I didn't even think I was going to like it because it seemed too light, too fair for my skin. It's 1C Light Cool, and I'm typically a neutral undertone. I typically don't like my concealer this light. I do like it light because I like it to double duty conceal and highlight, but this is really light. But the texture is so thin. What I like about this, and I think I've been using it more over the Tarte Shape Tape, is that the texture of this guy is so thin that it blends out to have a nice, you know, buildable to full coverage, but it dries down very quickly. It dries down super lightweight, whereas the Tarte Shape Tape is, you know, smooth and creamy, but thicker and can sometimes crease and cake up if you don't set it. I just find, you know, it's very full coverage and it's easy to build to full coverage, but, you know, some days, especially on those hotter days, I find that I have to work with it a little bit more carefully to make sure it doesn't sink into those super, super fine lines and crease. There is no worry with this. It dries down to a completely powder finish. It's a little less heavy of a coverage, even though it's, you know, it's part of the double wear line. So when I hear that, I think like maximum coverage. I would say it's not maximum coverage, but it is buildable to a very, very full coverage, a coverage that competes with the Tarte Shape Tape. obviously, or I wouldn't use it. And I'm actually really happy with the shade. After a suggestion from one of you guys where I use this in a video, you said to use it, you know, not only in your under eye area, but also down the center of my face and kind of to actually highlight the rest of my face in addition to conceal. And that really did the trick in like balancing out the lightness of this with my natural foundation color and bronzer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I surprised myself. Today is a day that will go down in history on this channel. Now it's time to talk about some shiny things. First, let's start with something that's on my eyes right now. This I recently did a review of. It's from Kiko Milano, and it is one of the Fall 2.0 magnetic eyeshadows. It's in the Fall 2.0 collection, which means they're limited edition, but oh, I hope they make them permanent or release some sort of permanent collection with these, because they are basically loose powder pigments that are held in shape by a magnet here at the bottom of the pot. So it means that you can hold it like this or dump it upside down or move it every which way, and these pigments will retain all of their pigmentation, like the intensity as you apply them to your eyes, but they aren't as messy as like a traditional loose pigment. And I freaking love that. The shades kind of, or the shade range is kind of limited because it's mostly faller shades, so it's deeper, smokier, bronzier. Not that I have a problem with any of those things, but just so you know, it's like a more limited shade compared to a lot of other collections out there. The other thing to consider, a lot of you guys let me know that this is a dead ringer for the MAC Spellbinder collection, which was also limited edition when it came out last year, I believe. So if you spot any shades within the Kiko collection that might dupe those from MAC if you're running low or just missed out on that collection, that would be a good opportunity to catch those too. Then the other thing that I'm wearing on my eyes, and it's not a favorite, but I think a lot of you will have questions, so it's worth mentioning here, but I did it. I bought it. The Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. What's new? But I used some of the matte shades in here in my crease, and then I used this Glitter Bomb Cosmo at the bottom here. That is what's pressed on my lid. I just spritzed some Matte Fix Plus on a flat shader brush and pressed that onto my lid. I've only used this twice, which is why I say I'm not including it in this video. So far, I really, really love it, but you know, I just haven't had a chance to actually use all the shadows. I've touched them all and, you know, done the swatch thing, but just want to make sure I have a chance to give all of them a fair use before I actually review it here for you. But let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. I do have the original Rose Gold palette to compare it to, so if you have any questions there or to this palette specifically, definitely let me know in the comments below so I can make sure and answer them when I do a video on this guy. And then the last product is actually something I fell pretty hard and fast for, kind of like the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I haven't owned this for very long, but ever since the day I purchased it, I have worn it every day ever since. This is from the brand Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. It is the Holy Glow Volume 2 palette. There's a Volume 1 palette, obviously, and then I think they recently launched like a neon highlighter palette. But it is this guy, and I'm currently wearing, are these labeled? They are labeled. I am wearing the shade Mermaid Mist, which is shockingly the pinkier looking shade here. I'm wearing that on my cheeks, and these are so finely milled. They're very high shine, but because they're so fine, they don't look like a glittery disco ball in your face. They just look like pure glow from the heavens. That's the best way to describe it. But anyway, I picked up this brand I picked it up last weekend is when I got it. The makeup show came to Dallas. It was an awesome event that I was fortunate enough to attend with a press pass, and so I got to go there. They gave like a goodie bag with new products, and then I also, of course, went around from booths there were lots of brands there that I wasn't as familiar with or I hadn't heard of at all. They just aren't really big here on YouTube, which isn't where I get my sole makeup knowledge, but it's a good portion of it. And so I wanted to check out those brands like that, including this from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. I'll have a separate video on all that because I haven't had a chance to try all of them. This is just like the thing that has stuck with me every day. And I'll say it's in large part due to the quality of the shadows, but when I was actually at the booth, which by the way is not, the brand Makeup Addiction Cosmetics was not there, an authorized retailer of them was. It's a Mexico-based company called Nuestro Secreto, I believe, and I think when I was talking to him, he said he was going to try and open up, they're thinking of opening up a brick and mortar either here in Dallas or in LA, I think. So fingers crossed. It would be awesome to like actually go in and touch one of these before you buy, or just like play around, whatever, you get the point. But anyway, I was at the booth, and part of what convinced me to get this was not just the quality and the appearance of the powder, but how he applied it. I totally changed the way I apply highlighter now. He put it really close to my outer corner, and that's something that I never would have thought of doing because they're not super prominent, but I do have fine lines, right? Like, I smile a lot. I love it, and so I'm not scared of developing, you know, a little bit of wear and tear on my face to show that I've had a good time in life, but they're there, and I always thought when I applied highlight there that it just emphasized that texture and those lines, and he just went there. He dared to just go right there, right up against those lines, and it looked flawless, especially when I face forward. Like, it totally changes how the way light bounces off my face, which is what highlighter does. But I don't know, it's a very transformative experience for me, and I will never be the same again. So that is the highlight that I have been loving. What a story. I hope you stuck with me through it. Okay, that is enough from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear about any products you've been loving, new, old, new brands you've discovered. Please let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys. Hey, what's up? I forgot a product. Here we are back again. I had just done product close-ups and I realized I completely left out a very important favorite. It's another highlighter, but before you think you're not interested because it's a highlighter, it's not one of those that is like super glow to the god. I mean, part of it is. Let's just talk about it. It is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Duo, Freestyle Highlighter Duos. The one I've specifically been loving is the Lightning Dust and Crystal Fire, and I say that those of you who might not like the crazy high shine glows might enjoy this because one of these is a much more subdued, soft pearlescent glow, whereas the other one takes it up a notch. So in here, that one is Lightning Dust. That's kind of the more subdued one. And then Crystal Fire is the one, the way I like to use these is I'll apply the more subdued one kind of all across the tops of my cheekbones. And then I'll go in with a really poppin' highlighter and I'll put that just up here at the very tippy top of my cheekbones. You can use it any which way you want, but that's just the way that I personally like to use it. And again, I think that anyone who likes a more subtle, subdued highlight will get some good out of this too, but they still have the option to take it up a notch if they want to. I have Mean Money and Hustla Baby, which is a little bit more of a peachy gold highlight, and this, if I'm being honest, is the one that I thought I would like the most, but I don't know if I've just been feeling icier highlights. Here, let me open it for comparison. I don't know if I've been liking icier highlights or if I'm just kind of over the gold thing, because even today I'm wearing like more of a pinky, cooler kind of highlight. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've just been really loving the Lightning Dust and Crystal Fire. Not that Mean Money and Hustla Baby isn't amazing, but this is just the one I've been preferring. So now we are done. Yeah, now I'll see you later, guys. Bye!